We are heading into our discussion. Florence is seated already, and right, unfortunate something came up, so Rashid couldn't join us. Yes, it was a prayers of promise to meet Rashid today, but right, unfortunate he couldn't join us this morning, and but we usually have our brother Manuel Global seated in there as a social commentator to help us deliberate on our discussion for the day, to all the issues that is all of us. So good morning, guys.
Good morning, Kobe.
Forrest, how is everything?
Everything is fine.
How was the weekend?
The weekend as usual. Like just a normal weekend for me.
Did you by any means visit your mom?
Nah, I mean my mom is from Western. I'm in Greater Accra.
You are in Greater Accra.
Yes.
So what's the fare from Accra to Greater Accra now?
I think with the VIP it's somewhere around 70, but with Ford I mostly pick Ford because I'm always in hurry. Ford, I don't know whether they think it's do, but I know it's 90.
Which one is the 90?
Ford.
I think we from Accra to Western region. That's you are making reference to 90 cedis. I doubt anyway. Since I be a walk back Kromo. Because the way fares have been increased, it's too outrageous. Like from fares have been increased almost about 1 Ghana cedis on a stretch of Medina to Boche. Almost 1 Ghana cedis. They actually increased it by 80 pesos. Medina to Boche. From Medina to Circle is 6 cedis. So if you have 20 Ghana cedis on you, thinking that you can have something to eat, maybe you can spend about 10 Ghana cedis when you should go to Circle and come back to Medina. I'm sorry, you'll be left with about 8 Ghana cedis, of which you can't get anything to satisfy you, not even buffalo or anything that you can actually recommend for your own self. It's so bad. Like, we need to talk about this thing. It's really bad. But our discussion for the day today, we actually discussing a whole lot of issues, and it's in relation with the downpour over the weekend. Our president actually assured us that he's going to make Accra the cleanest city in Africa. Rather unfortunate, when it rains, our cars cannot even move. Not even serve as boats or canoes. It is so stuck in there. What is happening?
Well, like firstly, I'll give thanks to all our listeners who will be listening to us, and to the Almighty God for making this possible. But diving into this issue at hand, okay, so first of all, we all know that like rain is a natural phenomenon which is bound to happen, and no one's control how and when it should rain. God does his things in his own time. But let's just look at like cities like Accra. We have been experiencing flood, regularly, and it has been a thing that has been going on for a long time. So like firstly, whenever like I'm talking, I try to outline some of the causes like that causes flood in Accra. Although we have other areas like maybe Western, Volta, but they don't experience flood as it has been in Accra. So the first one is the like poor planning of towns and cities. Yeah, this one we cannot bear witness of how the houses have been congested in Accra. You understand? Since from 1992 to 2000, from 2008 to 2014, and then the likes. The planning in Accra is very congested, how houses are being built. There's a settlement. The settlement is not a nuclear settlement. It's not dispersed. It's scattered. You understand? It's a crowded place. The poor drainage, like in the likes of Accra, being the capital town of Ghana, like we don't have drainage, proper drainage. That means our gutters, even the few gutters that we have, it's been choked. And this one, like we can attribute to some of our obvious actions that, or our obvious, or our negligent or our stubbornness, our disposal of waste. Mostly in Accra, most people just dump refuse into the gutters or wherever they find suitable for them. They just dump refuse there, like forgetting that it might go and block like a drainage, which when it's a little downpour, the likelihood of it flooding is really high. So let's look at the improper disposal of waste. I've said it. Okay, so let's look at the poor architecture. Like when you go to any constituency or that, you have the local authorities, you understand, which you have architecture. So if you want to build or anything, you have to go and consult them. So like they'll come and check where like you want to build a house, and check whether possibly it will be like a blockage of flowing water and the likes. Also, let's look at let's also not channel the brains that one. Let's look at our individuals too. Individuals, sometimes we have some land, this land, where is it? Like we are not supposed to build it. Even if you are building, you're supposed to leave a space so that even when it rains, it can pass. But in Accra here, due to land scarcity, when everybody gets opportunity to buy land, that's it. They just buy and build and fence it. You understand? They fence it without even leaving any small space for rain to flow. So if you buy your land and like you cover, you say okay, maybe 15 acres of land. I want to cover that 15 acres of land. There shouldn't be any piece left. Understand? So if you do that, anybody do that, where will we even get space?
But you were charged for the land, so why do I have to leave a piece for somebody?
You were charged, but common sense should also work here.
Well, but common sense is not saying that my money should go scot-free.
Your money is not going scot-free. What I'm trying to say that even as every like this one, every proper, even if you get any builder or any contractor, if you give him a piece of land that you should build, they'll build in a style that there'll be a passage. A passage, but Accra here, you should go to the other area. You see that like if your block is block A, block A doesn't have any space, so block B is also attached to block A.
Yeah.
So there's no space for passing. So this one, if it rains, the rainwater doesn't get anywhere to flow. You understand? So they'll just go and choke in someone's room and destroy things altogether. But like let's look at the general level of land, of the general flatness level of Accra land. Accra is relatively like a flat land, unlike the Kou and those people who are located in hills and stuff. Accra is somehow a flat land, so that one is also a contributing factor which causes Accra to be flat. But let's look at when the NPP government came into power, even as of 2014, as of 2014, when they come to power, they've made like steps in advance so that they can curb this, and that one, like let's look at the operation Clean Your Frontage. That is the Accra Metropolitan Assembly. Yeah, that is the Minister for Work and Housing, Honorable Francis Asensu Boache. Like he called on like all Ghanaians so that we can embark on operation Clean Your Frontage. You see, when I was talking about some of the possible causes of flood, and I made known of what refuse, poor the disposal of waste.
Yes.
Yeah. So like the MP for the Minister for Work and Housing, that's Honorable Francis Boache. He called all people so that they can all join. We can all join the train. So that we can clean our front. You clean your front. I also clean my front. Then we keep the city neat. We desert the gutter so that when it rains, like it can flow. Okay, so let's also look at the Greater Accra Resilient and Integrated Development. That is the GARID. So this project of the government of Ghana project to address flooding in the Oda basin of the Accra region, as well as to improve drainage. So the solid, so when you look at the GARID, this one also seeks to provide alternative means of which water will flow. So if you ask me about the flooding, that's what I have to say about that.
Okay, Manuel.
Kobe, good morning once again for this opportunity. I'm really grateful to be here, and thanks to our listeners for always tuning in into this show. I mean, yes, since I was born through my basic education to senior high school to tertiary, I mean, it has been a normal phenomenon. We studied it in school, causes of flooding. Yes, studying in it. Do you get me? I mean, yes, it is okay for our brother to come and give us the lecture, but then he should save us the lecture. We are tired of it. Yes, we are tired of the lecture, because if you should ask a 3-year-old or a people in state 3 today, they can give you the causes of flooding. So that is just a mere lecture he just gave to our listeners, and that is not what our listeners want to hear. We want to know that, okay, so since we know the cause, why haven't we been able to resolve this problem over the years? Successive governments have failed. Do you get me? So if you are a government, you come into power and you promise Ghanaians that Accra is going to be the cleanest city in Africa, and we continue to experience flooding in Accra anytime it drizzles, then it is a problem. So I want to touch on one or few things. Okay, so on issues of flood, in June 2020,
yes,
floodless.com says floods turn deadly in Accra. Flood list, and it is answer me betuja. In 30th May 2019, Accra floods, 27 years of democracy, 7 general elections, blah blah blah. Ghana had hit by flooding once again. That is in 2015. And meteorological analysis of floods in Ghana. So there's been a technical analysis of flood in Ghana. It tells you that Ghana towns cut off after floods destroyed bridges in the north. So the flooding issue hasn't been an issue of today. And I quite remember when I joined, the first time I came on this show, I think we discussed about flooding. So for me, it's a topic I will always remember. So and this is some years ago.
Yes.
So I don't understand why my brother should come here and lecture us about the causes of flooding and be like, okay, so this is what we can do to know. Now, in this country we have town and country planning department. Town and country planning department here in Ghana. Kobe, it will interest you to know their visions and their mission. I would want to read their vision: to become a unique, technically capable and proactive entity able to contribute effectively to the rational development of sustainable human settlements in Ghana. That's their vision. Their mission is to plan, manage and promote harmonious, sustainable and cost-effective development of human settlements in accordance with sound environmental and planning principles. Now, over the weekend, I saw a post on Facebook. Someone was asking a rhetorical question, and the question is, so the town and country planning, what at all do they plan?
I don't know.
I know manager knows where this is coming from. The town and country planning, what at all are they planning?
I just don't know.
And this is a question that we don't even need to laugh over it. It's a serious matter. Anytime it rains here in Accra, Accra gets flooded.
I'm telling you.
Then we will come and be okay, so we are going to start a desilting exercise, the Odo River, gutters and all that operation.
That has been the only side that most politicians come and they
scratch the surface and
excavators and go and find their ways in the Odo River, do some small form of this I don't know. Like even within Medina, yeah, the municipal. Anytime there's a cleanup exercise, and they should work in the gutters, they leave everything next to the gutter.
The silts are left on
erased, and it gets back into the gutters.
Exactly. Kobe, I mean, a classical example, just 100 meters north from where I'm sitting. 100 meters north from where I'm sitting, from here.
It looks like I've seen what you are trying to say.
There's one
story shop. A shop, yes.
A shop.
Yeah.
And they silted their gutter. The silts are lying right on the shoulder.
They say they've been using the sand for construction purposes.
So the construction people, who they come for? It's about a month now, and no one is talking about it. Trust me, if you are even walking by the wayside, there's no way. You might be hit by a vehicle.
Yeah.
And these are some of the things you are talking about. Yeah. So for me, I think the silting and all those things it's good, but then it's a lazy man's approach. We need to tackle it fair and squared. It's about planning, the town and country planning. Okay, so they have the District Assemblies to Local Government Act too. So it means the district assemblies are also responsible for taking care of the planning system in their locality or municipality. And these are their mandate. They are responsible for the overall development of their respective areas. Their respective areas. Responsible for development control through the grant of permit for development. I will touch on that. Approval of all planning schemes before it can take effect. I mean, this is a major problem. I really like football, and sometimes I do go exercise. So last Friday, it's been a while since I exercised, so I went to play some small match B. And right around the playing area, someone, I don't know, is erecting a story building. And there was a comment I heard. One guy said, Papa no ayad you, on one or your foreman, which is no see. Assembly for no baby, now see. I mean, like, I was shocked.
Yeah.
Assembly for no baby now. See the baby on me. And I cringed because this is something which is going to affect us in the long run. That is, if where the building is sited, it's not good. Probably it is sited in a runway where water, running water could pass. Do you get me? So these are all the things. It boils down to our mentality too. But then, if in other countries elsewhere, the laws.
Yes.
There is the laws that are making things to work.
This thing that you're talking about.
So once there are acts governing this town and planning issue, then I think we should take it into effect.
When people go in for their permit purposes,
yes,
it takes them a very long time.
Why?
To be certified, to start construction. Why must it take that long? Just get to the site, inspect whatever you want to inspect, and grant the person the permit to start building, or you deny the person. But here lies the case: the person comes and there's nothing being done, and it feels like you are wasting my time. I build, and when you come, you ask me for permits, I don't have it. What I've got to do, you can't destroy whatever I have there. That means we place people in these institutions that are not working.
That is also one aspect of the whole problem.
You see, Mr. Let me dive into what my brother Mano is saying.
Okay.
What Mano is saying, I don't see anything different from what I said.
Okay.
The first thing is that, like, I talk about the general causes of fraud. What down to some of it. I mean, that I stress on is our attitude. We are the citizens. Our attitude. Because let's assume me, Accra, I know people who wake up at 12 a.m. and go and dump refuse along the road and go and pour water in the gutters and do all those things. All those things. Are you trying to say that, like, the government around 12 a.m., 2 a.m. you should have people around to water? So as we are talking about the causes of flooding in Greater Accra here. let's try to boil down to some of our attitude. You see, like you are talking about, we have those like town council and stuff.
Yes.
Like that. If you send them, like if you go for a permit or something for an inspection to build on a house, first of all, like even before someone even buy a land, that person will go for it, like to go and make the appropriate like research about the land. You understand? Even before you build, you have to go to the
when all this due diligence is being done, and I have to start constructing my building, I come to you, I bring my plan to you, the necessary documents you need for you to process that permit for me. It takes a very long time. I can tell you that people over the years have not received their permits, but have built and they are living in it.
Kobe, I mean, what we are discussing here, you see, first of all, the attitude of Ghanaians are also part of the problem.
All right. So
if the laws are working, why do Ghanaians move from Ghana to elsewhere?
Yes.
And
they go by the laws
of the land. Live as if they never flouted any law here in Ghana. Because you know that once the law,
there's this strictness attached to it.
Yes. So we need to enforce the law. You are an agency, you are a department, you've been given the authority to plan. The person shouldn't even plan and come and show it to you. This is what I want to do. You will be proactive to plan. You plan the city, you plan the nation, you plan settlements. People don't plan for you to approve. No.
Like this is
so you can't go to East Legon and go and build anyhow. Over there. No, there's a standard.
If my brother like what my brother,
there's a standard. You can't go to Trasaco and build a one bedroom.
No.
You get me? So we need to plan.
Let me read this message on our Facebook platform. It says, this is coming from Penel Asamoah. It says, you are on point, promise. Coming from Kojo Menu, I think KSM, right? Yes, it says, greetings. Promise, I see you. Continue propagating the good work. Good works of the government. Stay blessed, senior. Alright, and this is coming from Lord St. James. It says, I see you, promise. Keep up the good work. Hey, people are seeing you, pal.
I'm not sure they hear
I don't know. Maybe they are seeing him. Yes, just like
they are seeing me like really like I'm doing the work. So there's no need for them even saying I'm doing a good work.
Well, so coming from them Asamoah, it says, I don't see anything different from what Promise said. All this long things is why the MPP government is trying to bring the paperless system. Okay. So you are trying to say that concerning the permit issues and all, that is why the MPP is trying. But okay, that doesn't mean Asamoah is an MPP guy, right?
So I don't know.
It should be, because from his
but by him too, he's a Ghanaian.
He's a Ghanaian. I understand.
He's a Ghanaian.
I understand.
But then is that the solution to the problem?
But before
to plan.
Before the paperless system comes in,
you are bringing the paperless system.
Yes. Before it comes in, we need to correct other things.
To know that.
See, passport office on passport. Let me say this: passport office is running on this paperless stuff, but we still have Guru boys at the passport office.
Yes.
So like
yes, of course, people are always going to. The system is what we are looking out for. You don't cut corners. When you cut corners, it becomes a big issue for you.
You know, like
when somebody should be caught around the government institutions and they are like, you this person, you did this, that, they don't actually sack you. They transfer you.
So you go.
So when you are being transferred, you go to another city or town to go and continue those same things you did that you were being transferred. You see, and how are we solving that problem?
Kobe, for me, you see, my brother, wait. It will interest Kobe to know that. It will interest Kobe to know that Medina, on the face value, according to Medina planning, Medina was to be a mimesis.
Okay.
A mimesis of East Legon. But she named Medina scattered, slums popping up everywhere. Which planning went into it? And how did it deteriorate to this point?
Okay.
It started at a point. No one spoke against it. And now it has gotten to where it is now. Very soon, Medina will also begin to experience flood. And now we'll come here and be giving courses and be giving lectures.
But we shouldn't move away from what the president actually promised, that saying that he will make Accra the cleanest city in Africa.
During his first term, he's in
what went wrong?
That is second term now. So how do a city become clean and be bedeviled with flood anytime it rains?
You know, like I don't know whether if I say something, I don't know whether you get it into forward. I said like I mentioned this to some of the process that we are doing.
You mentioned the process.
Like from 19 to 2000. Like can you tell me what the NDC government did about flooding?
This is a blame game. The question is that I am asking you to that the president actually said this. What happened to whatever he actually made? Like it came out of his own mouth.
I'm very 92 to 2000. Remove the fact on it.
What has he done? What did he do? Like the operation criminal frontage. It was one of them.
Okay, so when was that conducted? When was that conducted? Was it this year?
Are you not in Ghana?
No,
what is happening? That's what I want to see.
Was it this year?
Because
was it in Accra?
We can.
And what are you experiencing now? So is it a solution?
The problem in Accra here. It's not just a problem that after if you finish the setting our guidance,
the setting is not
you see when you're talking I don't really interfere, so I don't expect you to interfere.
Now I'll come in when I need
no like you don't come
carry on.
Yeah. So you see like when you talk about operation clean of frontage, you are cleaning our guidance, we are the desert like first at some point in cycle. First when you go the cycle smells. You understand? And now it's not like that anymore. You can say there's an improvement. And with the issue of flooding, this blame we can't put it on any government because like it's since from like 1957 and the like Accra like
we can actually blame the government.
Yeah, I said we can't really put it on any government due to the colonization and stuff that we went on our buildings like before even like we ran into like democracy and started voting around like 1990.
As someone says I should be fair. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe he's painting me elsewhere. But I am asking a legit question.
No, like when it comes in that you should be fair, maybe due to his observation. I think maybe you are putting
maybe it's because I asked if he's an MPP guy or something. Maybe you have to come again. But I was just asking because
if it's based on our discussion,
if it is based on the discussion too, it is something so dear to my heart actually because over the weekend I actually chanced on a video where a police quarters was actually full. Police quarters was full.
How?
Due to this rains. And these people are the same people. They need to come and take care of us. They need to give us security. Now where they lay their heads is being flooded.
That's
what
why,
do we do?
That's why I'm telling you that.
Like, and it is here in Accra.
The buildings in Accra are already congested, and I don't see we are attributing the blame to the government. That's why I was saying already. No. Like let me give it. As for from 1957 to 1992, like before we changed into a democratic government, that we vote like we went to vote for our national. Like before they came, and Accra already like. It been congested when Robbins came from 1992 to 2000. What did he do about it? By him being like the first, like let me say, the Republican president that was like elected through election or through the ballot paper or the ballot box. What did he really do? You understand? So if we are trying to track it, we can't just come and put all the blame on a current government.
You finish.
So like with issue like this, like let's assume that when MPP government came and out of the Bangkok fact, when they came and said maybe like how the buildings have been arranged, how it's been congested, I want to reallocate people. We have that resources to do that. So like Ghana, we are developing, we are a developing country. So we can't just jump into how Europe and start the settlement has been. So like we were giving an example of East Legon. You understand? East Legon like this, like it was, let's say it was a private land that the people have really managed to die.
It was land. It's not about
but ask me that Accra was planned. Who planned Accra? No, but it's something that we should put, like we should all like accept.
So the president was aware of all these things and he knew the problem.
The cleanest city.
The cleanest city in Africa. Accra is the capital of Ghana.
I know.
And Medina is part of Accra, right? Odoko is part of Accra. Kanesi is part. And all these places got flooded in a way. Like you walk through the streets of Medina and Charlie.
So that's something that we have the primary causes. So let's deal with the primary ones.
So how are we dealing with it?
So that's
because it has been a long-standing problem. It has always been a primary problem.
Yeah,
so how are we dealing with it?
It has been a problem, and we can't just
and the president made a promise that he's going to make Ghana the cleanest city in Africa. That was in, let's say, 2015, before 2016 election. He has been elected. 4 years is gone. Now his second term, 2 years down the drain, right?
He's on it. Good.
He's on it. He made a promise
like does this smell?
Circle. It's
circle is you are basing it around circle.
In Accra, I've not visited any place, but the place that first I visited that place smells. Now if I go, it doesn't smell anymore. So it's like there's an.
Are you sure circle doesn't smell?
Oh, it doesn't smell.
Which part of circle are you talking about?
Which part
of circle are you talking about?
Circle.
So you go
I want to get to the circle you be going that is not smelling because it's still.
I'm talking about one circle.
Like I'm trying to.
Is it one circle?
I'm trying to compare. Then Accra to now Accra is a different thing altogether.
Really?
Yes, it's a different thing altogether. And you can't tell me like because the government have come 4 years so automatically. No, it's a process.
I wish we could have a tour together.
Yes. Like I think it will be much appropriate.
Yeah, I wish we could have a tour together.
You give me a handshake.
Really?
What's the handshake for? After a heavy downpour.
I told that flooding is a natural phenomenon, and we can't just flooding
is not a natural phenomenon.
Who causes like rain to fall?
It rains elsewhere. The volumes of rains elsewhere. That they don't experience. You can't tell.
We are not making mention of Akufo-Addo.
No. Like
Akufo-Addo's name is out.
And you can't even tell me because it rains you should flood because flooding is a natural phenomenon.
I already gave you some of the questions and you're like I came to lecture.
Yes, you came to lecture. So now I don't really know. Let's resolve the issue. What are you guys doing about it? That's what we are doing about it. Is like is some of the same thing the gutters.
I think it's the primary one.
The same thing the gutters
is the basic one.
It is not the basic.
Our village in Accra are not flowing.
Yes, you know. But what causes the drainage to?
I told you that
to get choked anytime you descent.
Like get choked anytime you descent. Like people will carry
so don't tell me the solution is the solution because we decide every other time, but we still experience flood. So it is never the solution.
So that's like our attitude. The onus of it all lies on our attitude too. That's like
our gutters.
I've been choked. You know that. I've been choked. What? Yeah, I've been choked with refugees. Like no, I can't hear. People who have connected it like their manholes, their third manholes to gutter.
The manholes does not choke it. It's
it's about planning. It's about planning, but still from 1992 to like.
But I'm saying that the manholes, it is when somebody links. When somebody connects the manhole to the gutters,
and you don't see anything wrong with it.
No, I am saying that it is liquid.
So it
doesn't choke the gutters.
So you don't see anything wrong with it.
And that one wouldn't cause flood.
That one when we
are talking about the hygiene issue over here, that is when we address the side of it.
It's like it
is so wrong.
Like you said, first one you asked me a question, and it's like we are tackling the two issues at the same time. Being the cleanest city and the flooding. So now which one are you working on right now?
A cleanest city wouldn't flood. It won't flood.
You are lying.
Are you sure?
Check your you should check your fact.
You should rather go and check your facts because I haven't seen a clean city. No. Anytime it rains.
No, like it
doesn't.
No, let me.
And even if it does, it comes once in a while.
Oh, my brother.
Then it is tackled. This has been a perennial issue. It has been a perennial issue.
Yeah, so
it has been a perennial issue. So don't tell me.
The issue in Accra here is not just about the gutters. It's about the gutters, our structures, everything. So
that's what I'm saying. That it's about planning. So we need to make the town and country planning department work effectively and let the laws bite.
So now you're telling that like the laws have teeth but it doesn't bite.
It doesn't bite enough.
It is so true.
Because if you are to cite to say in American say story building, I'm saying 2-story. And I'm about to say, hey, one major permission, no compensation. What I say, you take it to the law court, they look into the laws. Assembly no ADB. You so don't you think that will be deterrent enough?
No, like it has been happening. From where I come from, like a lot of buildings have been brought down.
Good.
You know that.
So if that had to be done here in Accra,
all right. It is so amazing that Rashid doesn't want to sleep. Rashid is not ready to sleep. He's not willing at all. We have our brother on the line, and he's going to bring on board his assertion as well. So, Rashid, good morning. Hello, Rashid. Hello. Hello, Rashid. I think we would have to get him to. Hello, Rashid.
Yeah, hello.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you clearly.
All right. Okay. So I would want to hear your take on this very issue. The president actually promised that he's going to make Accra the cleanest city in Africa when he was actually sworn into office. What is your take on that?
Okay. First of all, let me take this opportunity to also extend my greetings to you, the host, and my colleague, Thomas, and also all our listeners and viewers. The president made a promise. I think this promise was made in 2017 or 2018 around that in his next administration or in the next year, he's going to make Accra the cleanest city in Africa. The question that everyone is asking. Are we able to make Accra a cleanest city in Africa? And then the answer is clear that in fact, if we talk about, we are talking about the dirtiest city in Africa, Accra will be one of them. Right. So contrary to our question that want to make Accra a cleanest city, you wouldn't do it. Right. If you are a president, you make a form of commitment to alleviate the suffering of those people through solving the planning issues for everyone. I think it was good for all the citizens. But here in the case, very difficult to achieve what you promised. Right? I want to talk about the sanitation that was introduced in 2018. Right? Mm-hmm. There are some provisions. If you look at page 59 and paragraph 256 of the 2021 budget statement, I think this budget was read by one of the city members. I think you could remember one of the government work. I think the government will bring this budget to Parliament. And if you look at the purpose for the collection of the sanitation levy, mind you, the sanitation levy comprises pollution levy and everything. Right? How to use some of the purpose for which the fund or the levy was established. One of them to improve urban air quality and combat air pollution, and to support the re-engineering of landfill sites, build bamboo, construct fully money landfill, construct more sustainable state-of-the-art treatment bamboo, construct waste recycling compost done across the country. All these things were good enough, right? And as at 2022, if you read page 229, appendix 2 of the 2022 budget statement and the economic classification of central bank revenue for the year 2021, the government has generated revenue of $330 million from the sanitation and pollution levy alone. Right, so what I am asking myself, or what I'm asking is that, has this money been used for it to get a general purpose? And also, where are these things that you are talking about? Where are the landfill sites? Where are the compost plans that you think that will be establishing? Where are all these things? Because if we establish this plan, the bottles and everything that have been that are going to the budget sheet and then preventing treatment of water. I think these models would have been proven by now. Right? And here in the case, the area planning continue to put dangers to Ghanaians. I don't want to go back to what's happening in 2016 about the gas explosion of all these things. Right? I watched a talking video, one of the videos from the Kanishi, and it was very terrible. In fact, the government is buying down the energy shield. You perform plan. You can't blame citizens for that. For it. You collected taxes in levels of $300 million. And here you cannot show me a single thing that you use in the tax book. And you tend to blame citizens that because of their attitude, that's why their plan continues to persist. I think this is really more of a dangerous than anything. Right, we shouldn't be doing this to the local government. We are talking about people going to the government, people going to the building of stores around there. If they don't have rooms, houses there, they suffer a lot.
Rashid, one would ask, what did the NDC government also do about flood situations?
Yes, during the NDC administration, if you remember, there was a Mohammed that I went in Ghana. There was no river. We used to get it, I think every quarter or so.
The River is it the only central flooding point in Accra? Because it looks like all the politicians are targeted towards that place.
You see, that is where the problem is. That is where the problem is. If you look at River, because all the Accra drains, I think all of them will collect over to the river before it gets to the sea. So I think that point is what I need to take one, drain it every quarter, so that the water can flow very well. But if you don't drain it, I think it will continue to flat everything. That means it didn't drain. And that is what we are experiencing today. The modern pattern of dredging it for free. And today, I am working on my about 3 million Ghana cedis or so just to drain the water. Right? So we are doing a lot of things to control flooding. And then we are constructing a circulating system, and then also expanding the drainage system. There was a group that we thought the government has also added something to it. It is not a planning, but here in the case, they are collecting taxes for more that's another means for sanitation of the dollar tax. My grandmother in the village doesn't know this, but she's paying for a dollar tax. Right? We collected dollar tax related to 200 million Ghana cedis, and we can't show us what to use the taxes for. This should have been used to control flooding like this.
I don't know. The question has answered. I don't know what
It looks like
deviating from what you think.
yes. What?
I said you asked me a question. What did he do? And he made a dump of the river. That's so. I think that's the only thing you mentioned. There were beating about it. So I've been asking a question. We should go straight to and then address some of the projects that I think the NDC government did that could have controlled the unit, and we are beating around the bush.
This is actually saying that you are beating around the bush, asking the question, what did the NDC do about flood issues, and you just made reference to the Odo river. That's
I want to also ask you a question.
Okay.
I want to ask you a question. They are in government now. What are they trying to do flooding in Ghana? They are in government. If you tell me what they've done in the past years to do flooding in Ghana. Since this government has been running, they are in government. Why did you do some of them?
I don't know whether you
voted against me because you thought I'm not doing well. That is the reason why you voted against me. But if you try to equalize them, I'm not equalizing it. And if you try to tell me that what your government is into, you should tell me that my government is into, I have forgotten it. And you are giving the voice everything to you. I think we did a lot of we provided some training to at least control flooding in Accra. Right? So this is a good question. So you should tell me, since the government has been that.
You shouldn't just make a broad statement, Mr. Rashid. You just make a broad statement, you contrast some drainage. Sometimes you should give us things so that we can refer. You understand? We can refer to what you are saying.
Is that you do it?
So sometimes you should come out so they can also refer to whatever you are saying. So you just make an open statement without any form of clue to reference to whatever you are saying.
So like you won't go to I don't think it's online. You can just take your phone, Google it. You know what I'm saying?
You are saying something like your grandmother in the village doesn't know anything about volatile. But I think your grandma in the village knows something about the internet, right?
I didn't hear you, please.
I said you were like your grandma in the village doesn't know anything about latex. And I'm asking that your grandma in the village knows something about internet, which can access the information that you are telling right now.
Yes, he doesn't know anything about internet. And he doesn't know anything about it. He's paying for volatile that he's not benefiting from it. He's not paying for volatile that he's not benefiting from it. And the volatile is you are using it to run private jets. Right? To serve your own interest. You are spending the money. And then today, that is the problem we people are trying to country into. So we should be ashamed of the kind of government we are delivering to the Ghanaians. Right? You should be very much ashamed. You promise us a lot. Muhammad is not doing anything. We constructed circle. And then all people who said was circle is just a mere fantasy. If we want to do anything. But today, if that intention was not there, we know that the gravity of traffic that we are experiencing right now. No, people people should tell us what we have done to control flooding in Ghana. Tell me, you are in government. You are the head of affairs. You control the Ghana the nation's resources. Tell me what you use the nation's resources to do in Ghana. I think if you go to Circle now, there's a big water. And that they said they're going to use that umbrella to do tourist attraction or something. Please, you remember this? I have forgotten the engineering work that he wanted to do there. But they said they will use it to as a tourist attraction site.
Yes, I do remember.
They put a lot about it.
Yeah.
Let's ask
Making the outdoor a recreational center.
Making the outdoor a recreational facility. So what are we doing?
I'm listening to what he's saying.
Okay, all right. I was actually asking if you remember that particular.
I have my fight.
Okay, all right.
I remember what.
All right, but I want us to tackle this issue before you go, Rashid. A private legal practitioner have linked the increasing crime rate in the country to the lack of financial minds. That's poverty. What's your take on that?
I support what the private legal practitioner have said, but I even want to refer almost to read this case. There is a case in the criminal law. It is called Abu and another versus Abu and Abu versus the state, the republic. It is a criminal case, law case. In fact, if you look at that case, the judge held that, or the court held that. Although I think the corporate they stole the sling bag. I think they were in the construction site. They stole about 30 bags of cement to sell. Right, when the case went to court, they wanted to at least let the guy serve some jail sentence. But the counsel for the corporate pleaded guilty for the offenses. And then he pleaded with the court that the court should take into consideration the hardship in the economy. That has orchestrated it. The thing happened internally. Right? So I think sometimes the hardship in the economy will lead to increase in crimes in the country. So that is what we are experiencing now. The crime we need in Ghana today, everyone wants to do Sakawa. Every guy wants to do Sakawa because we are not getting jobs. If you go to my Facebook page right now, the kind of people sending me messages that they need jobs. That when I send them to you, come to my room.
Now you work in ministries like so you are
providing jobs. Because I'm a politician, they think that I have protocols and all these things. It shouldn't be this way. Like, why should a citizen think that it's only politician that can give them what to do? It is wrong. Create the system. Let the system work for everyone to enjoy the fruits, the fruit of the daily idea to sow in the county, in the state office. Right, so I think that the hardship in the economy, I totally agree with what he's saying. And also, I don't agree with certain things in one way. That it may be the hardship that everyone should go to. Right, I mean, you should also do something. But the problem is that's something that we are talking about. There's something that's not there for you to do. There's nothing. So the people who cannot bear the pressure and hardship in the economy, they have to resort to illegal means. That has led to increase in social violence in our country now. But we are totally agree with what the private legal practitioner said.
All right. So let me ask you a very final question, which is the free SHS has faced a lot of criticism, backlash. Certain record streets, should it be scrapped because Ghanaians are not ready?
The free SHS should not be scrapped. Because the Mahama has stated it that he will not scrap it, but he will review it. And then those people, the lawyers, and then the academics in the NDP thought that we will cancel. Today, the same clergy, the clergy themselves, are coming out advocating that the policy should be reviewed, right? What should we pay school fees for a minister's son or daughter? Am I asked you to pay that? I can pay the cost. And why should we pay school fees for a child? They can pay the cost. So why don't you do an assessment and see the people who cannot pay for the school fees and then offer them the opportunity? When Muhammad was starting free, he started with something, and he started with the big students. Do you know what he was doing? If we were big students, the idea behind that is that you don't have money to afford the fees for them. Right? Muhammad started free in 2015, and when he started with big students, if we were big students, we paid fees for maybe 5 fees. And I have receipt to back all the what I'm saying. I enjoyed the 2015 I was messages. I have received to back all these things. Right, so if those who can pay, the government will allow them to go. I was a student too.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you can pay, the government will allow you to pay. Right? This one, if you are filling the form, you state the listing of your parents, the occupation of your parents and everything. You can train the people through that. And then you get all this, you can pay. If you can pay, you will be allowed to pay. I don't see the reason why you should pay the school fees for a banker. They can pay themselves. Let them pay. So I totally agree that the system, the school fees, the school fees policy should be reviewed, but not cancelled. It shouldn't be cancelled. You read Article 24 or 25 of our Constitution. It guarantees the right to education. And then we further state that if they still have the resources, all education at the various levels should be made including tertiary education institutions. If you get to the point that the government should make tertiary education institutions free, the government should do that. And I think that we have the finances to make researchers free, but those people that can pay should be allowed to pay.
All right, so thank you very much, and on this note, we would want to congratulate you as well for adjoining the Writers of the Year flag for the UPSA Law Students Association. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
You should come home for celebration. You should come home.
Promise says you come home for celebration.
You come back.
So I don't actually know, but it feels so great to hear from you. As much as the work, things that happy to work you for coming, but you've actually made it to the show as well. Thank you very much for. In case you would want to have your own submission too, you can call on 0550 933169 0550 933169. You can call and also make your suggestions. Promise.
Sir.
The private legal practitioner. What's your take on that?
Yeah. You know, firstly, I like to add this issue that, you know, for the sake of the COVID-19, that said that, you know, like nowhere is good. Understand? Even in the US, like they are suffering. US, you go to China, all countries, everybody is suffering, like due to the COVID-19.
Okay.
But what this private legal practitioner is saying is that he said he thinks I don't know whether I really got a question. He said adolescent offense sex for money, that or
No, not that one.
Which one?
He's saying that there is a hardship that is there's an increase in crime because of the hardship in the economy or the country.
Well, if he said that, you know, that's why I first made it that due to the COVID-19 and everywhere it isn't easy for anyone everywhere. You understand? Every country they are suffering to make an ends meet, which inflation is really like going high. As of US, I think that was it. I checked them, their inflation level is about 4% or 5%. So even if advanced country, if their inflation rate is increasing, you should tell you that it's a general problem that is facing everyone. Okay, so let's look at even as we are saying that we are in hard times. the MPP government have even, like, as in hard time that we are talking about, have given almost like 200 factories. Which some are under construction, which some are but have been like finished.
Can you make reference to some of the factories?
Oh yeah. So like me, I like to argue with facts. So let's go to the Upper West region. Like West region, like the people government have built six factories there. You understand? So let's go to the Bofas.
Do you have some of their names and?
I'm giving you the name.
Okay.
You understand? Let's go to the Bofas Company Limited. That's our processing. It's in the one municipality. As I'm talking to now, it's in process. Okay, so and then let's go to enable with one district, one factory food processing. That is the East District. They produce like soya beans, cake, and poultry food. You understand? That one, like it's a processing company. That one, they are not yet done. Let's go to the Lamborghini. They are not processing company. That is it is also located in the Lamborghini district and it's under construction. Understand? So let's check from Upper West. We have 10 factories. The names are printed. I don't know if you want reference after that. I will give you the reference so that you can check it yourself. The Ashanti region, we have 55 factories there. The Northern region 6, you have the Eastern region 31, Western region 9, Central region 18, Water region 14, Greater Accra 79, Wuti region 3, Savannah region 4, Half region 4, North region 2, Bono East region 12, and Western region 4, and Bono region 24.
Okay.
So all these one are like factories. That is the one district, one factory that the NPP government runs, and they are really like delivering it. And on the take of what he said, I don't really agree with him in some ways, but in some extent, he might be right in his own reasoning. You understand? He might be right in his own reasoning due to his own observations and what he saw. That's why he made that general statement. But one thing that I also impute is that in as much as like all countries, it's a global thing. You know, Nigeria is not cool, like Kenya, everywhere. So as far as the youth, when after school or even after school, you try to channel your resources into businesses or other like productive activities rather than always relying on the government for employment and stuff. You understand? The country is that, and it's not really Ghana. Like,
would you love to work for the government?
Well, as for me here, like I'm really not. I don't know. I have my different plans all together, but like I have no plans of working for government. But I think like after school, I'll try to invest my resources into so that we profit. I don't really like depend on the. I don't really depend on the government for employment. Yeah, but now youth of now after tertiary, that's they'll be staying at home, hoping that like the government to give them work. But you can also channel your resources, do something. You can start some a tabletop business like with as low as like 100. Like you can start something. Yeah, that's fine. You can start something and it will really but you shouldn't expect the government to spoon feed you.
Now the government is about spoon feeding us because of e-levy.
Come again.
The government is about spoon feeding us because of e-levy.
Your spoon feeding, which content are you using?
The use that.
The
Use that. So they are going to use e-levy to set up the youth.
Okay, you see, like one, I don't know, like one controversy about the e-levy that many people have been like talking about. You see, always like we have been going to the International Monetary Fund. That's IMF, like for one. Now you know those grants, those things that they will give you a loan of maybe $2 billion dollars.
I am not saying.
Let me finish.
I am not saying that the government would have to go back to IMF and all.
Let me land.
But the government.
Let me land.
All right.
Okay. So you understand? So like the government will go for $2 billion, and then they will be like they will give you a list, a long list. Use 100 million to build a toilet. Use 50 million like to buy a car tire. You understand? Meanwhile, we are in our country know what we are going through and dictate what we should use our money for.
Okay.
That's why our president cannot bank of funds. He sat down, he reasoned with his minister, with his cabinet. He said, nah, we have to divide money internally. You understand? We have to get our own money internally, to fund our own project. And so that's one of the basic reasons why they introduced the e-levy. Oh, though the e-levy are not there are some controversies about e-levy, about the about the double taxation and stuff. But with time, like we work on all these things. We address it more.
To still not touch on the use that aspect of it, where I was making reference that the government is going to spoon feed us once again, right after school. They have to give us money to establish ourselves. That is coming from the e-levy cash.
Well, let me ask you, the problems in the country, are we done like solving it?
But these are part of the things they actually mean.
We are not in US that maybe you say after school that the government will start.
No, but it is part of the reasons why they told us that we are implementing e-levy because of all these things. I mean, to build more roads, for some infrastructure.
Yes, I feel that the e-levy will like to fund our project that we want, like the roads, like the you understand? Yes. Now you see, like let's look at now even nurses are on the idea that they are money for emotional allowances and stuff. You understand? All these things. You understand? You be like a government and all these things are going up. You know, indirectly, like what the nurses want to say that they want an increment in their salary.
Yes. So, all right. Promise is all right. So let me read this. It says, "Hey, 200 per. We are still crying for employment." This promise guy, and Daniel from UPSC. So he's making reference to the 200 factories that you are saying that.
It's true. It's true. I don't know. Like if you want, like I can mention that one after one. I can give them where they are located. I can give it one by one. Like if you won't do it for time, or more by like if you need clarity, you come. Like I'll sit him down and I'll teach him to go here.
Since he's from UBS, I'm sure maybe you guys can meet over there and have that big point factories you are making reference to over here.
Oh, it's a very I'm not just giving you any I'm telling you about it.
All right. Mano, your take on the private legal practitioner.
Well, what the private legal practitioner said really got to me. In the sense that there's been an increasing rate in terms of crime here in this country, and he is attributing it to the hardship that the people are going through, the poverty of the people. And for me, I think, well, people will go out to steal or to commit crimes for a number of reasons. You can't actually pinpoint to one. For some people, it is just in their DNA to commit crime. For others, it is a cause of hardship. If all avenues don't work for them, they might resort to that just to survive. And you know that self-preservation is very necessary. So you need to do something to keep yourself afloat. And for me, yes, on one breath, it could be attributed to the economic hardship. But like our brother said before, it is not enough a justification. You can't tell me because times are hard, you would go and commit crime. No, it shouldn't happen. It is actually, for me, I think, fine, the economic aspect is there, but low key to these days, there has been a steady decline in morality. Ghana is going through a moral decadence, and we need to tackle that from the social point of view. Yes, economically, people might indulge in crimes illegalities just to make ends meet, just to get something in their pocket, just to get their lives running. But then on the social side, society is decaying in terms of morality. And these days, the young doesn't necessarily respect the old as the cultures of the land has made it clear. These days, technology and westernization, modernization, it is eating into the moral fiber of society, and we really need to speak to that. So for me, the crime rate, yes, on one grade it could be attributed to issue of economics, but on a larger scale, Kobe, you here, me, including everyone here, wouldn't necessarily resort to crime just to survive, because morally you know that it is not right to do so, and you find other legal means to survive. So for me, I think gradually society is losing it in terms of morality, grooming people to become responsible men and women in the nation. And you see, it's a complex problem. You can even channel it down to our education system. What are they teaching our kids? To family system, parenting. What are the parents doing? Are they focused on only their job, money, making money, and neglecting their kids? These are all issues we need to tackle. And for me, from the legal practitioner's point of view, yes, fine. Economics play a very huge role, but then we can't narrow everything down to economics. There's a social aspect, which is very huge. It is society that shapes us to be the people we are, and that role gradually is being compromised. It's been compromised. You go on social media and there are a whole lot of things happening. Those spaces need to be regulated. These are all contributing to these kind of things. I was doing some quick meditation, and I realized, okay, when we were kids, we watched certain things in movies. You see people robbing a shop, someone pulls a gun on someone, and all those things. It informs our formative psyche. You are a kid, what you see is what actually makes you. So if you keep on seeing those things, you might end up becoming one. And therefore, when you go to countries like Japan and all those things, those places are well regulated. You can't show anything on TV. I think, was it last year, we discussed here on this show about some two young guys using another young friend of theirs for rituals. Yes, the casual issue. And what they said was that they saw a ritualist doing an advert on TV. You see, these are all factors. So we can't just mention it to be an economic factor. No. There is the economics aspect of it. But then, to a larger extent, it is a social issue that we need to tackle. For me, it is very, very important how we groom up, we nurture our children, the kind of things we expose them to. That is why the government should take it upon itself to make the nation a better place to live, so that people will adhere to laws. And when as a child you grow up knowing that it is your responsibility to obey the laws of the nation, and when you go foul of it, you'll be punished. You'll be forced to do the right thing at all times. So for me, I think well, legal protection on the point of view, not the other. But if you are to go into it deeper, I see it to be a more social issue than economics. And also, Ghana, as we know, it's 70% Christians. It's made up of 70% of Christians, and you see people going up and down on a Sunday morning. Going to church. During the week too, they will be going for evening services and all those things. But yet, the crime rate in the country keeps rising, keeps increasing. What is the problem? What are our religious institutions also putting in place to curb all these things? So it is a collective approach to solving this problem, because there are lots of factors that contribute to the increasing rate of crime in the country. So economics, yes, is just a minute aspect of it, but then the greater ones are religious and social.
All right. Should free SHS be scrapped?
Well, I don't think it should be, because it has been of great benefit to people who ordinarily wouldn't be able to have that education. And like it was Promise who said this: sustainable development goals. Goal number what? It was Rashid. Oh, okay, all right. So I think sustainable development goals, it states that every citizen should have at least a basic education. And
it was me.
Yeah, it was you.
Go for.
Yes, go for. You, I think last Monday with Emmanuel, I remember vividly. Yes. So every citizen should have a basic education. And previously the basic education was capped at DHS. Now I think it's SHS. So the more reason why we should give the opportunity for other people to also at least get a formal education to a point, can read and write, not to chew and pour. Read, write, understand, make rational thinking and all these things. So for me, it shouldn't be scrapped, but then once again it should be reassessed.
Okay.
It should be reassessed, and let's make it better.
All right. So before I come to you, Promise, I want to read this on Facebook. It says, this is coming from Asamoah. Says, I love the show. I love this show. Promise more fire. And coming from Asamoah again says, what the private legal practitioner said is wrong, because Rome has the worst crime rate, but have a good financial might. This is coming from Asamoah. That's true. Okay, all right. So, what's your take on free SHS?
Yeah, with the physics, I think the physics, there be big government to bring the physics so that it can make the education system available to all regardless of you being like poor, you having the resources. They're trying to bridge the gap between the old and the poor. But like, let's look at when implemented the free sector, there are certain circumstances which has caused the implementation of the free sectors drawn back. Let's look at the first COVID-19. You see, if the COVID-19 could have happened or the free sectors would have been a policy which the government could have fully responded till now. Understand? And also let's look at the Russian-Ukraine war. Someone will be like, Promise, what does the Russian-Ukraine have to do with the free sectors?
Of course, I would have asked.
I know you are, so I'm asking myself.
I'll surely ask again.
Like I always say that in this world, we are in a global environment, which even if one hand is being cut off or is being amputated, it indirectly or it directly affects your other hand. Understand? First, if you can lift a block of cement, like if one of your hands is being cut, no matter how strong the distance, it can never reach a bag of cement. So that's what's happening now. You see, when the Russian-Ukraine war happened, Russia is one of the greatest distributors of gas and other fuels and stuff. You understand? You need to this, they increase it, and sometimes they even stop distribution. And so government and they hijack their prices. And those fuels and that, they are goods of necessity. You understand? We need them in our daily life to do something. So that the government have to channel a lot of money into that one just to get that commodities onto the market, and the citizens will have access to all of them. So in that, like the Russia-Ukraine war, it affects.
But the Russia and Ukraine war, when did it start?
Let me finish. Like the Russia-Ukraine, like it affects our economy. You understand? It affects our economy. So as long as it affects our economy, maybe if the government have set up maybe about $200 to invest into the field research policy, like we do to the Russia-Ukraine war and the COVID-19. You know, those funds may be allocated to other like sectors. And if you ask me that, let me step back, let me dive into the main question and see whether it should be scrapped or it should not. No, it's a policy. Make government you said like they want to abolish this free SHS, and I say they should go back to their book. They should go back. They should go back to their analysis and see their benefits. You understand? Every system needs room for review. That's the way. You understand? Every system needs a room for review. So even like people are saying our constitution needs review and stuff. So like if a policy that implemented in 2001, in 2002, there may be possible reason that I may look into it and make certain amendments. You understand? So you should the policy should be reviewed. You understand? If not, like in the light of COVID and the Russian-Ukraine war and other circumstances, which okay, like I think like should have been a better day off without even any review.
Why is the government attributing lots of things to Russia-Ukraine war?
I told you that you are in a global environment. You understand? Whatever happens in a brother or sister country automatically affects you. You understand? Like in Nigeria also produces gas. You understand? If Nigeria is like today, maybe they have economic issues and that their gas supply, like they need money. Automatically, like they will increase the charges on a liter of petrol that is being sold out to the market. You understand? When they raise it up, automatically if government first invest $100 million in buying petrol, now it will invest like 200. You understand? So this is what I'm trying to say. Like Ghana like this, like maybe like we supply power to Togo. You understand? And now maybe let's assume that like our population are increasing. You understand? If our population are increasing or due to some circumstances or due to some, sorry to say, maybe a war broke up in some part of area which you can't supply them with those electricity anymore. Like automatically, like Togo will have to find other means which like they can get light. You understand? They might invest a lot into their economy. So this sort of like I'm talking about the Russian.
Manuel, do you have anything to say concerning the Russia-Ukraine war?
Oh, for me, Russia-Ukraine war, I mean, like Promise made mention, it is a global issue, and it tells you the importance of peace and stability in the world. You realize that you may not even know what you get from a country until it is plunged into war and disunity. So a lot of people didn't even know we resorted to these countries for quite a number of things until the war broke out in these nations. So for me, we are hoping that everything is going to be fine with Russia and Ukraine, and then we move back to our normal economy, since it will always be a reference point for.
No, it will affect us. No,
I mean, like,
not as a reference point. It will affect us.
Let me talk, my brother. Let me talk.
No, if you make it as a reference point, like that means it's not affecting us.
Let me talk.
We are trying to find excuses.
Of course, I mean, like, you see, there are lots of excuses in the system, and fortunately or unfortunately for this government, Charlie, they hid behind COVID. Charlie, just after COVID, gave us some small relief. No, Russia, Ukraine.
These are circumstances that are happening. So these are circumstances beyond our.
We realize these days we don't talk much about COVID because we are almost getting out of the woods, and it has now been a Russia-Ukraine conversation. So for me, I'm praying and hoping that in no time Russia and Ukraine will smoke the peace pipe and go back to their normal economy. Then we will stop using them as reference points. we stop using them as reference points for not delivering on our promises as a government. So for me, that would be my take.
All right, as someone says, Kobe, I love your panelists because they talk the minds of the people. That is coming from someone. Well, your last take.
Wow. Okay, so like with my last take, what the advice I have for all Ghanaians is that, about that is, if I'm right, last week we had the natural species, like there's the possibility of like a terrorist attack, and I think we all should be vigilant. Though there is an information that this one the churches to be aware, but I think it goes beyond the churches. You understand? The citizens, like we should all be vigilant. You understand? If you see any 2 or 3 people meeting someone which we are being suspicious, we should try to bring them to camera. Okay, and then also I think like with the villages like this, I think they are safe. Villages are somewhat safe because like you could be like right now, like if you go to some village, they'll see that you are a stranger. You understand? Yeah, villages they know the people, they know them by face. So even if you are a new person who go there, they can easily tell. But like what about cities? Like it will be hard for you to tell. So people who have been going to nightclubs, who have been going for cinema, who have been going for they should be vigilant to understand. Who have been going to stadium to watch football. If you find out that like there are certain things that is going on, like that you find suspicious, you should try to report down. And I'll try to advise the youth since they are the labor force, we are the power of the country. So we shouldn't make ourselves available to those terrorists. So like some of them will come with a proposal that challenge you this number, but you should help me. You understand? After that we will give you this amount of money. We shouldn't expose ourselves to them. Or we shouldn't give them that opportunity so that they use us as an engine which they can really cause damages to our country. In the likes of Burkina Faso and stuff, they are always